On Medical Monday today, we are looking at how a temper, how an irritation, how anger can actually be a bad thing, not necessarily a good thing. Well, I've got my lovely friends from the Komao Medical Services here. Dr. Aman.
Hello.
Hi there,
Hi
thanks for
there.
coming back. Let's get cracking. When a patient you see can get very irritable easily or loses their temper and comes to you because they're saying, I've got this chest pain, I've got some maybe sweating, pulses racing, what's going on here?
Well, anger, is a normal human emotion, but in certain people, and actually I think quite a lot of people, if it gets out of control, then it can be very destructive for that patient's health, for their relationships with friends and family. Um, you know, like you said, somebody coming in with chest pain. It's been well shown that people who are extremely stressed out or have a we say type A personality, that angry all the time, they are at very much increased risk of getting a heart attack or stroke. So yeah, definitely, anger is a big issue, and we need to tackle it properly.
You say tackle it properly. Let me ask you, what does tackle properly mean? Stop losing our tempers? Should lose our tempers? What?
So we can't stop ourselves from getting angry. It's impossible. We're always going to be, it's just like a normal human emotion, like I said. But there are ways of dealing with it. Like, for instance, when you are getting angry, a lot of people, not everyone, but in a subcategory, they don't realize that what they're doing when they're angry, because they say they're just seeing red. So they do things that they'll probably regret later on. But during that period of time, they're so angry, they've lost control of what they're doing. So in these kind of people, one form of dealing with this approach is like psychotherapy, to make them aware of how they're feeling during that period, and um, to try and discuss what's making them angry, and deal with it in a more, um, you know, in a better approach, rather than just losing control.
We're going to come back in a minute after a quick commercial break, but we're going to. I want to look at this in a bit of in a bit more detail, because anger isn't just losing your temper. There are certain things around anger, aren't there? Like eating the right foods, eating foods that do not make you race, anger, whatever. But there are also areas where anger can actually have a detrimental effect on the body. And if people are suffering from short tempers or irritability or worry or stress, and I want to know the difference between stress and anger, can they come and see you? And if they do come and see you at the Komao Medical Services, what is it you can do for them? Stay with me. My name is Rajah. This is Dilsa Radio. You're tuned into Let's Talk, and also with our very good friends Aman Sharma from the Komao Medical Services. We're going to talk about anger. You know something? I said it slowly so that I could calm my own self down. On Let's Talk, it's Medical Monday. And we were just talking here with my friends from the Komao group, the Komao Medical Services. When you're in a restaurant
Mm.
sometimes and you haven't finished your food, and
Yeah.
before you even know it, they want you to leave.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
that make you a bit angry?
It does, yeah, it
Right.
makes
When
you
you
angry.
lose that temper, can I ask you, and this is the point I'm making,
Yeah.
you lose your temper. All right, come on, what's it doing to your insides? Now you've just eaten a meal. Can the food affect the way you react?
Yeah, in both ways. For instance, like if you're really angry and you're eating your food, will trouble your digestion of that meal. For instance, you feel bloated. Certain foods, like very fried foods, you don't feel good afterwards. You feel bloated. You put on weight. This can make you stress. Stress can later lead on to to feeling angry about this. Um, the other things, eating a lot of very spicy food can give you very stomach problems, gastritis, we call it. All these kind of things, it's like a vicious cycle. You get health related anxiety can lead to stress, and then stress can lead to anger, so it's kind of breaking that cycle.
Are you saying, doctor, that certain foods? Sorry, are you saying, doctor, that your temper can make you put weight on?
No, so I'm saying like if you eat certain foods, like fried fatty foods that can make you put weight on, and then you're putting on weight makes you stressed, and that stress can certainly lead to you feeling a bit more angry later on down the line.
Let's look at the Asian diet for a minute. And if you want to call Dr. Aman Sharma from the Komao Medical Services, do that now on 0203 515 1035. Do not wait till 5 minutes to 3. That is not fair. Then he will get stressed and you will get stressed. No, jokes apart. Please call 0203 515 1035. Have you ever lost your temper and felt ill afterwards? Have you ever eaten food and felt sick? Not because of the food, the way it was cooked, but what it's having on the effect in your stomach or something. 0203 515 1035. Now, doctor, let me ask you, do you believe that some of our foods, Asian foods, are they contributable to the illnesses that we get? I'll give you an example: diabetes.
Mm.
I'll give you another one: blood pressure, high blood pressure, and cholesterol.
Mm.
Some people say, "Well, जो दाल बनाते हैं ना, वो जो तड़का लगाते हैं,
Mm.
which is to give it the spice, that's giving you cholesterol." Is this true that our food is in effect bad for us?
There is a lot of oil in our food, and that can cause high cholesterol, raise our blood pressure. So it's certainly something that unfortunately is the case, I would say so.
Really?
Mm.
So what can one do to stop that?
Uh, just to when instead of making the dal, don't put the tarka on top of it, because
Then they
there's
don't eat the food.
well, no, you can have the dal, but don't put the oil, don't put the chili on top of it. But maybe just have it a little bit less spicy. Let put a bit less salt in it. Just to balance it out a bit.
Okay, let me ask you another thing. I lose my temper a lot. I don't really. I'm giving an example.
Mm.
don't walk
Yeah.
away. I lose my temper a lot. I am stressed up to the eyeballs a lot. Every time my children talk to me, I just scream at them.
Mm.
I come to you, the Komao Medical Services Group. What can I do, or what would you do for me?
So first, I'd like to try and find out what is making you so angry, and then see just if there are any obvious triggers, work, home life. Try and ascertain exactly what it is that's the problem. If there is a clear problem, then we can try and work together to manage it. If it's a long-standing complex issue, from you've some people have been angry their whole life, then in these kind of cases, I can refer you onwards for like psychotherapy. We work with professionals in Harley Street that can
Can you
address
offer
that.
counselling of some sort?
Well, I can refer you onwards for that.
Prakash has said to me, "Hello, Deep Jeep. Today the topic of controlling anger is very good. Thank you, Prakash. My friend told me that his wife, whenever she has her menstrual cycle, she gets very angry and sometimes even loses control. So his doctors told him to give her a glass of cold water whenever this happens. Can you please ask the doctor his opinion on this? And what about something called calming tablets? Are they good for the health?"
I certainly would definitely advise, if you're very angry, then having a glass of cold water can, help to cool you down. So that is a good advice. Um, and with regards to calming tablets, for instance, that example you gave, it is well known that in certain cases, women can be more irritable and more angry during their menstrual cycle. And in this case, there are, certain tablets we can give 1 to 2 weeks before the cycle starts, and then stop it, and then again 1 to 2 weeks before the cycle starts. And in certain cases, from my experience with the patients I've seen, that has helped, but it doesn't work for everyone.
So, I mean, this is a very good point he's raised. Let's say that somebody in a family is getting very irritable all of a sudden and angry all of a sudden. Don't give them calming tablets. They come to you. Right, now here we've got somebody who's literally shaking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do immediately to stop this? Because the shake, the anger, I've seen it in people. It's not good. What can we do?
Well, I mean, if someone is very, very angry at that, it's very difficult to do anything during that moment when they're angry, because whatever you're saying to them during that time, they're not going to take it in. They're in a period of intense emotion. The best way of dealing with anger is when that person is receptive to what you're saying. During that time, for instance, giving them a glass of cold water, just trying to calm them down, reassure them, these kind of things, and also acknowledge that they're angry as well. That's something else that you can do.
Do you believe at the Komao Medical Group we could do more about our own tempers, and what would you recommend if I came to see you because my temper was out of control and it was affecting my health? So, what I'm asking you is, now I'm getting blood pressure. But before we go into that, should we go to the phones because they're all lit up?
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk very quickly. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello. Hello. Who's? Sorry. What's your name? Pav. Hi, Pav. You're through to the doctor. What would you like to say? Go ahead,
Yeah,
doctor. What
sure.
She's got a point. Some
Yeah,
people can even get violent.
they
I never
can.
really
Yeah,
wanted to touch on that, but
yeah,
now it's been opened.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that is unfortunately something that does happen. Again, what this is about being aware.
Speak up. Speak. Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
Yes.
Go on. Go ahead. We will disconnect the line, and then she'll talk on the radio. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So basically, what I was saying is that unfortunately there are cases where people can get violent when they're angry. This is very unfortunate. But the key thing is about angry is to make people become more in tune to their feelings. So in these kind of people that lose control when they're angry, we need to kind of address the issue so that they are aware of how angry they are and what's making them angry, and then whilst they are angry, to try and not act in a way that's going to be detrimental to their own health or even harm anyone else. Once they've got that self-awareness, we call it mindfulness, only then can you start tackling the anger. And there's several ways of doing it. For instance, I mentioned psychotherapy, counseling, CBT. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy, coping strategies. So it's a complex issue, but if you know somebody who is behaving in this way, then rather than just leave it, I think try and get them to seek help for it as soon as possible.
Is there such thing, doctor, as sort of any time where it's good to lose your temper?
Yeah, the other thing is, if you are angry, then if you express it in a way that's not detrimental to yourself or anyone else, that is good, because the other thing is, if you are suppressing your anger all the time, that's also not very good for your health. So for instance, if you're angry, then say, this is making me angry. Tell the person, or whoever, whatever is making you angry, whether it's a loved one, but do it in a way that is addressing the point and what is making you angry, rather than shouting or even being violent. So you have to express that you are angry, but in a more measured way, I would say.
Okay, moving on from that. That's a very good point. Thank you, Bob. If you've got a question for the doctor in terms of temper, anger, stress, 0203 515 1035. We're coming back after a quick update. My name is Rajah. This is Digital Radio. It's Medical Monday. Good afternoon. Monday is back on. So, doctor, a very good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon.
This is what I need to know from you. Stress.
Mm.
What is stress, and can you, at the Komao Medical Services, treat it?
Yeah, stress, is basically a body's reaction to something difficult you're experiencing, home, personal life, whether it's work-related, and it is something that we can deal with. So, like I said, I can address it. We can see if we can tackle the issue, or if we need to refer you onwards for counseling. So that are the things we can do for you. Yeah.
Do you believe that the Asian community suffer from stress more than other communities? And do you believe, as a result, we just don't take it, we don't believe it?
I think, I think Asian community do suffer from stress. They're at least from my experience, people I've seen, they're all very stressed. And I think if you actually do something about it, then it's better, because stress can be bad for your health if you're constantly stressed.
In what way can it be bad?
It can raise your blood pressure, put you at increased risk of heart attack, stroke. There's there's a thing called type A personality. So type A personality are people who are very stressed all the time, very competitive, um, and in these people, evidence has shown that they are at increased risk of developing, like a heart attack.
I have a question for you because Amrita said, Doctor, I really lose my temper very badly with my neighbours. They make terrible noises above and around me, but do not say nothing apart from getting even more angry. What do I do?
Well, I think in this situation, so you know what the trigger is that's making him angry, and it's about when you just to be aware of that situation. So if something is happening that you know is going to make you angry, then to be able to express your anger, either in a letter or a phone call, but to do it in a civil way and not to be, some people can be rude, offensive, swearing, be aggressive. These are all destructive ways of expressing anger, but you have to express your anger in a constructive way.
Okay, constructive way, meaning what?
So to tackle the issue behind the anger, so for instance, in this example, if the neighbors are making a lot of noise, then to try and sit with them or to try and negotiate a compromise, something like that, basically.
Okay, I'm with you now. All right, let's carry on here. What can the Komao Medical Services and Group do for me or other people who have temper anger issues? And really, I mean, when we're not talking, I mean, you see, a lot of things go on behind closed doors with the Asian community, don't they? And they start taking it out on their wives. They're angry about it, and they take it out on their wife. They won't take it out on somebody else. What can they do to sort this out and solve this problem? What can you do?
So we can do a consultation. We can look at what's causing the anger. Look at, you know, for instance, like I said, childhood experiences. If that's the reason, if some people, there's a very long and entrenched reason for why they are constantly angry, and in this kind of category of people, they would benefit from either psychotherapy or cognitive behavioral therapy, and we work with colleagues who can we can refer to and address these issues. And it's better to do it sooner rather than later.
Okay, very good point there. So before we go in, I just want to ask one more quick question here. 0203 515 1035. Have you ever had temper controlling problems or temper tantrums, as they call? Prakash has said some doctors are advising to go for yoga classes. Do they help? Yoga.
Yeah, so yoga helps, acupuncture helps, Tai Chi helps. So these, what we call, this is all called mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of your feelings. So coming to terms with your feelings. In this fast-paced society we live in, a lot of people forget that, if you're angry, they're just not in tune with their feelings enough, and to be consciousness of to be conscious and self-aware of how you're feeling at the time.
Okay, very, very good point there. Okay, after the quick commercial break, we're going to carry on talking. My name is Deep Rajah. This is Dilsa Radio. You're tuned into Let's Talk, and we're discussing here all to do with anger management and issues. I particularly want to hear from people on 0203 515 1035 who have had anger issues and have actually acknowledged them, because I think one of the key things is people don't acknowledge them. My name is Deep Rajah. This is Dilsa Radio and Medical Monday. When it comes to having a bad or a heavy temper, what is it like, stress and the lifestyles that we lead? Some people say we need that because the kind of life we lead in London, we can't sit here and drink herbal teas all day and wear flowery shoes. We need stress in our. This is the way it is.
Yeah, that's right. City life is very stressful because you have to wake up early, work is busy, you don't have much time for yourself or your family. So city life is stressful, and that stressful nature can also lead to anger issues. But this, you've got to try and come with a work-life balance. So you have to look at your own health, because if you keep living this lifestyle, it's not good for your health in the long term. So you've got to take some time out. Do a bit more exercise, eat more fruit and vegetables, eat early. Get good night's sleep. So even though all these things is, it sounds easy to say, I know it's not easy to implement, but you should still try.
Good night's sleep. What I think is a very, very important issue. But how do you get a good night's sleep if your mind is tossing, turning, thinking, your brain is going left, right, left, right? How do you get a good night's sleep?
So this is something called sleep hygiene. So for instance, there are a lot of very simple things you can try. Number one is, when we have our phone, our TV, to avoid any kind of electrical stimulation at least a good 2 hours before you go to sleep. Because if you're like looking at your phone, you're on YouTube, or you're looking at some messages, then your brain is too stimulated right before you're going to sleep. And if you already have a tendency to worry a lot, then that's not a good recipe. Making sure you don't do that. Making sure that there's no light coming in the room, so make sure the curtains are closed. These kind of things. Drinking a glass of warm milk beforehand, before going to sleep. These simple things can actually be quite helpful.
How important is sleep when it comes to tempers and anger management and control of anger?
Sleep's very important because if you haven't had a good night's sleep, you're going to feel groggy. You're going to be more irritable. Your temper's going to be a bit more loose. So sleep is very important.
How can you help very quickly in a minute? How can you help make sure that maybe a patient who comes to you at the Komao Medical Services gets a good sleep?
So we can do a history of the patient's sleep patterns and then look and see what can be done to improve their sleep hygiene, monitor it over a period of time and see if we can improve it that way. The best way to deal with sleep is through behavioral approaches. I do get people, coming and asking for sleep medication, but this is not a very good way of, trying to get good night's sleep, because evidence has shown in the long run these kind of medicines actually disturb your sleep. So we definitely we don't want to go down that approach.
Okay, look, we're going to carry on for a few minutes more after the news. We don't normally do this, but because there was a slight delay because of the problems going on in Westminster and stuff, we're going to carry on for a few minutes more. So bear with us. If you've got problems with tempers, you've got problems with sleep, you've got problems with anger management issues, you don't have to give me your name, but you can call on 0203 515 1035. My name is Deep Rajah. This is Dilts Radio, and I'm going to lead this song up to the news. It's a continuation of Medical Monday for a few more minutes, because I want to get this point across. We're talking about sleep, and we have been saying that we're talking about sleep, and we've been talking about stress that's making us both tired, but that is not a problem at all. I had Bina on the line. She's just gone off. She was going to talk about something. Let's see what we can go. Have you ever had a problem with stress and tempers and losing tempers? What happens when you do that? 0203 515 1035. Have you had to take medicine for your temper, or medicine to stop anxiety, which can be a problem as well, which we're going to go into at another time? 0203 515 1035. Doctor, with me is our very good friends from the Komao Medical Services, and I've got Dr. Aman Sharma with me. Dr. Sharma, let me ask you this. When it comes to your body and illnesses and stress, they say yoga is good and other things like that, but one person has been asking me, can you please ask the doctor how much sleep a 62-year-old working man really needs?
I think a good healthy amount of sleep is about 7 hours. So if you're averaging 7 hours, then that's quite good.
7 hours, okay. So that's pretty good. And what about a non-healthy man?
So anything under from average about 5 hours is not good for. It's not going to be good for you. So you should definitely be getting above that at least.
Okay, interesting point. Let's move on. I've got another point now. I want to move on because I know we've only got a few minutes now. When you look at worry, when you look at stress, when you look at weight and stuff, how can you help? Do you have dietitians that can help if people came to you?
Yeah, we work with specialist dietitians that can generate a diet plan for you, nutrition wise. So we do work with colleagues who can offer that.
Okay, that's a very, very good point there. Last but not least, and I think this is important here, from what age should you keep a healthy diet? Because people will say, well, I'm getting old now and I've got diabetes, I'm getting old now, I've got I don't know, whatever. But from what age should you start maintaining a healthy diet?
I mean, even as children, we always encourage our children to eat healthy greens, fruit and vegetable. So, it's a lifelong thing. You always want to have a good balanced diet. But more so, I suppose, when you're working and you're stressful, as long as you're eating a healthy, balanced diet, you'll feel better. Your body will feel better. So just try and work on it.
Okay, so it's a matter of working on it. Finally, which is very important here, what is the name and the address of your Komao Medical Center? Because I want people to come to you to discuss. I think that stress-related diseases can create blood pressure diseases, which can lead to illnesses, and I want that to stop. And you can help them there. How can they come to you? What's the number to call them on the phone?
Yeah, sure. It's 0208 749 4640.
4640. And what about the emails and everything?
So you can email us on info@komao.org.uk, and Komao is spelled Komao.
Okay.
Or you can Google us, Komao Medical.
Right. And last but not least, again, can people who perhaps have not been to your place before come there? Is there an appointment? Can they turn without the appointment or what?
Sure. So you can call us to book an appointment. We will be happy to see you. For all our patients, we would require some form of ID. So if you can bring that with you, then that would be great.
Okay, that's interesting. Aman Sharma, doctor from the Komao Medical Group, thank you very, very much in coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for talking about sleep disorders and stress-related issues. Next week, we're going to look at anxiety and how anxiety has a problem. We're also going to look at Botox again, and we're going to look at hair transplants because as Christmas, Diwali is coming up, this is something that we may be interested, or you may be interested in giving away as a present or something, a voucher or a consultation to your loved ones, and in the comfort of complete confidence. Thank you very much for coming on board, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you next week.
No problem. My name